Bruce, curious about an update on Shea Theodore, but also where the team misses his game the most.
Well, he'll decide tonight if he's in. He's been skating, looks good. Part of the game we missed the most was neutral zone, transition, breakouts. He can be a one-man breakout for sure. So that part of our game was, still solid, but that's one of his best attributes. So, and then offensive blue line play. He's really good at moving laterally and then maybe making something out of nothing on some of those low to high plays.
Kelly shared an update on Tomas Hertl yesterday. Just curious how you approach filling that void with the kind of season he's had offensively.
Yeah, well, you can't just plug someone in there and expect them to be, Thomas. But at the end of the day, we got a lot of good players. So we got 5 guys in the lineup regularly that can play center. So Howie goes back into the middle. We'll put Nick Waugh up there with Dorofiev and Saad. I think Nick's turned the corner a little bit later offensively. He's a big body as well, plays a bit like Thomas. So we'll see how that goes. If not, we'll move some other pieces around. But Carly will go in his power play spot in the bumper. That's when we looked at different people. Just the face-off element that Carly brings helps Jack on the entries as well. Thought about Barbie. He's on the second unit, does a good job there, but not a face-off guy. So we'll see how that plays out.
When you look at this matchup, do you think about the fact that if the season ended, this would be your first round opponent? Does that change your approach to anything?
No, it won't change our approach, but we'll have recent knowledge if it ends up that way. But no, there's a lot could happen between now and then between a number of teams, including us and Minnesota. So not a lot. No, if it was maybe the last weekend or something and you were that close, but it's too much time, I think.
What are you expecting from Minnesota, a team that is obviously very hampered by injuries still, but playing some pretty decent hockey?
Well, I think they'll stick to their identity. They're always hard to play against, tend to be low-scoring games. You got to work for everything you get. Not a lot of free odd man rushes, things like that. They take care of the puck, so we got to be good. Crisp in transition. We do get some looks off the rush. Make sure you're getting making a good play, strong play to the net. You got to get inside. I think last time in here, eventually we got there and got rewarded, but in patience. They just tend to be low-scoring games. We're comfortable with those typically, so that's what I expect. More of the same of that.
Last road trip, Bruce, was a bit of a mixed bag, but then you seemed to find your game again at home. What were you most encouraged about over the last 3 home games?
We scored a lot at home. Finished. I think we got some leads too, right? When we think about those games. Detroit was 3-1, Tampa 3-0, Boston might have been even, right? And then we got going in the second. So I think playing with the lead helped us, especially at home. Teams have to start chasing the game, open up a little bit. So that'd be nice if we can replicate that on the road. The last road trip was very uneven, but that's behind us. So let's just focus on how we just played the last week. Picked ourselves back up, played more like we can. And the offense didn't come at the expense of defense. It came because of defense a lot of times. So that was encouraging too. It wasn't just some shootouts.
The last 40 games, you're number 1 in the NHL in shots against and high danger chances against. You're the best in the league at limiting those two things. Are you able to kind of look always big picture like that, or do you kind of? Is it hard to sort of not look at every game and every
No, we look at big picture for sure, Gary. I mean, we do 10 game segments with our analytic group, and one came through yesterday, and so that's probably more of how I analyze over 10 games. That typically is 3 weeks. It's a big enough sample size. But you talk about the second half. I was asked enough, and our record didn't indicate it. I thought we were playing good hockey. We just weren't finding ways to win. When we figured we had a good enough team, we would. And sure enough, March got going our way a little better. So the high dangers a lot of times I think is puck management. And so we're doing a better job with that. That has been addressed. Our giveaway number is high. I've said it many times. It'll never be the lowest, but it was too high and probably still is. So take care of pucks in critical areas and some of them will go away. I think our D-zone structure lends itself to not a lot of high dangers if we're playing the right way, but the puck management part is the one we've done a better job with the second half of the year than the first.
Is Carlson the best choice to replace Hertl on the power play? Because for lots of things, but also does the fact that he's the side that he shoots from matches well with Stoney? on that pass.
I would say there are guys that could do that. Barbashev, we thought about Howie, he's a big body. We're also thinking of bigger guys in there, right? They help recover pucks, they occupy space. But what Carly brings is entries for help for Jack. He brings the face-off ability, right? Start with the puck. So that's key as well. And definitely he can shoot from in there. And Carly's missed some time, so it might be good for him to get some touches in there and hopefully some offensive production to make him feel better about his game. So there's probably those three reasons right there is the biggest influencer of this decision. He's been on the power play. I think he was on the power play in the bumper years ago, but before me. I used him on the goal line last year a little bit, and he's typically been an elbow guy. So we'll see how he does in there. She's certainly no fear going in there and searching for loose pucks or tips or hanging in there for a shot. So hopefully, listen, Stoney finds people everywhere on the ice. So hopefully Carly's one he can find as well.